Good morning, everyone. So I wanted to share today kind of what I do every Monday morning, and that's review all of my ad campaigns that I'm running for clients. Now, there's a million different things that we could talk about when it comes to ad campaigns, from campaign structure to keyword match types to actual copy to site links to your landing pages. You get the point. There's a million things that we could do it. And a lot of people dig into all that stuff, and over time we may dig into it here as well. But today I'm actually going to talk about something that gets overlooked a lot by agencies, by small businesses, and it's the number one thing that everybody should be doing when they're maintaining an ad account to help ensure that there's no wasted ad spend. And that's reviewing the search term list to make sure that the searches that are triggering your ads are ones that you actually want them to do. So when I do this, I kind of split into three different categories. There's going to be identifying search terms that we don't have as keywords in the campaign yet that we want to see more of. So we're going to include those as keywords into the campaign and try to target them a little more heavily than we have in the past. There's going to be neutral ones where we're okay with them showing up because they're on topic, they're on brand. We don't mind paying for those, and we'll just leave those as is. And then there's going to be ones that aren't relevant at all, and we're going to add those to our negative keyword list so that we don't trigger those ads in the future because we don't want to pay for things that aren't relevant, right? I do this once a week for all of my clients. You'll see some places recommend it monthly. I do it once a week because it doesn't take a lot of time, and I really don't want to see my clients wasting ad spend for an entire month if there's something in there that there shouldn't be, right? So with that being said, when I launch a campaign and we get it started, the first couple of weeks I'm actually in their search term report every day building up that negative keyword list because it's really important when you're launching and the campaign's gathering data, right? So after 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes a month, depending on the size of the campaign, then I'll move to weekly. Basically, whenever I feel good about it, no real set time. But I am in there daily when I first launch a campaign because you want to get a campaign off on the right foot. So to get to your search term report, you go to your campaign section over here. It's under Insights and Reports, and then Search Terms. I like to sort this by cost because I want to know what's costing the client money. And then it's just working down the list and seeing what's relevant. This is a car service. They do chauffeured airport rides, limousine rentals, party buses, all of that kind of stuff. So basically what I'm looking for is anything that doesn't really fit into that. And theirs should be pretty clean because I've been running it for a while. But what I do see from time to time is new competitors popping up. And I like to exclude competitor keywords from my clients' campaigns because typically when somebody's searching for a business by name, they're looking for that business for a reason. So if they land on a landing page that's not for that business, the first thing they do is click back. So it's a very low conversion rate when targeting other competitors keywords. So I tend to exclude them. Now if we get to a really big campaign, everything else is done, and we're looking for, hey, where can we spend the last 10% of budget, then maybe we'll target something over there. But the return on investment on competitors branded keywords is just typically not strong enough for local businesses to really be targeting that. There's almost always something more effective they could be doing with that ad budget. So we're going to do a quick scroll down here and see if anything jumps out to us as far as a wrong area or a competitor, anything that doesn't look quite right. And if there is, we will get rid of it. So far, everything's looking good on what I've seen. We've got stuff for limos, stuff for airport rides, car service. We're actually going to get rid of this one. It's got cheapest in it. And my client isn't the cheapest. And a matter of fact, he doesn't want those types of clients, right? He doesn't like the price shoppers. He wants the people looking for the luxury experience. That's what he's trying to deliver. So anybody looking for the cheapest ride is just taking up his time when it comes to creating that quote and going through that process. And he's decided it's not worth the headache. So we're going to go ahead and put a check next to that one and continue on down our list. And so far so good. So you can see, because I do this every week, these stay pretty tight. So that's why you do them daily when you first launch a campaign. Dixon's, that's going to be a competitor. Royal Airport Service, same thing. because the more you do it, the tighter this gets and the less of a mess it is later. So if you waited monthly, you'd be looking over a lot of different searches. It'd take a lot more time, and I just prefer to do it every week. So we're going to go ahead and click to add those as negative keywords. I keep them either ad group or campaign level, depending on the structure of your campaign. Ad group, sometimes, maybe you want a keyword to trigger an ad in one ad group, not necessarily in the other. Things based around price can sometimes be that. So you just got to make that choice. I'm going to go ahead and click save. And we're going to bounce back down to the bottom because I saw we had 193 to look at, and that was our first 100. So we're on to page 2 now. And we're going to give a quick scroll through those. And so far, so good. Luxury limo looks good. Manchester is one of his service areas. MHT shuttle service, that's going to be a competitor name. So we're going to get rid of that. Pegasus VIP transportation, same thing there. Ride services, town car to airport. Wilton limo, that's a competitor as well. So you can see we've got a handful of competitors here on the second page. The good news is none of these have cost anything. So nobody's actually clicked on an ad for these ones here on the second page. So we're catching them before our clients spend any money on them, which is a good thing. So there we go. These are all looking good down here. And one more competitor there. So that's the end of the list, guys. So we're going to go ahead and add those 6 as negative keywords as well. And so you can see out of the about 200, we had 9 to add to our negative keywords so that they don't show up in the future. Luckily, they hadn't cost our client any money at this point, so we've caught them before that happened. But if we had let this run for a month, 2 months, 3 months, those almost certainly would have cost our client money at some point. And while it wouldn't have been a bunch of money, every dollar that goes to irrelevant searches is a dollar that comes away from good searches, and that affects their cost per lead and all kinds of stuff, right? So, and you can see it took us maybe 5 minutes to really get through that. 5 minutes for a client once a week in order to do that. Well worth the time. And that's how you make sure your client's money keeps working towards stuff that actually matters.